I've already given my review on Lockdown, but a lot of people seem to like to enjoy hearing about my trip to these pay-per-views. So here's a story about my trip to Lockdown, alright? Me and J-Body get in the car and we drive for hours and hours towards Philadelphia. Before arriving in Philadelphia, right outside the city, we stop by at this place to eat. While there is this drunk old guy who's actually pretty big, he's this like old guy who's just pushing people around, basically causing trouble, alright? He comes up to us, he tries to give us trouble, so I block his move and I take him down, alright? He's like, get off me, Sonny! What are you doing, Sonny? So security or whatever, comes in, takes him away, and I don't know what they do with him, lock him away for 8 hours, whatever they do with him, alright? So we get back in the car, we drive the short distance to the arena, and we enjoy the show, as I described in my Lockdown video. After the show, we hang out in Philadelphia, we get some food, and then we proceed to get back in the car. We drive all the way back, hours and hours, back to where we live. I drop J-Body off, and before getting home, I'm kind of thirsty, So I go to this random 7-Eleven nearby, the first one I see, and guess who's standing out front at this 7-Eleven? The old guy. And he's still drunk. I get out of the car, we make eye contact, and he's like, well, dreams do come true. I'm gonna whip your ass, boy. And I was like surprised. I'm like, how in the world did you get all the way out here? And he's like, that's not the point. I'm about to serve you an ass whipping. Here's something I hope you agree with. That interesting characters are important in professional wrestling, right? Hogan, Rock, Austin, Flair, interesting characters are important in professional wrestling. I think you'll agree with that. Now here's something I hope you agree with. And that's that an interesting character is made up of 1, an interesting gimmick, and 2, a badass, one-of-a-kind personality that complements that gimmick. And in my opinion, therein lies the problem with many of the young stars in wrestling today. They have no personality, alright? Look at Matt Morgan's promo in the Victory Road Countdown show. I mean, it's like generic wrestler 101. Like, if you wrote down his promo and showed it to me, there is no way I would guess who said that, right? Now let's talk about one of our favorite TNA wrestlers, Christopher Daniels. Now, he has this whole gimmick going on, right? About, he comes out in this long, shiny robe. He has the face paint thing, and he comes out and he calls himself nicknamed the Fallen Angel. Yet the second you hand him the mic, it's like Mr. Generic. He might as well be Matt Morgan, right? If you took a Matt Morgan promo and a Chris Daniels promo and mixed them together, I would not notice a thing. I could not tell the difference. Remember when wrestlers not only had gimmicks, but also had badass, one-of-a-kind personalities that brought those gimmicks to life? The Hulkster, the Warrior, the Nature Boy, the Macho Man, the Rattlesnake, the Great One. Not only can a badass personality bring a gimmick to life, it is also capable of taking one similar gimmick and pushing it in completely different directions. For example, Rick Rude and Ric Flair have technically similar gimmicks, the self-absorbed playboy, yet you will never confuse Rick Rude with Ric Flair because their personalities, their interpretations of the character took them in completely different directions. On one side, you had the kiss-stealing son of a gun, and on the other side, you had a guy in the ring shaking his hips with the Ultimate Warrior painted on his ass. The characters were brought to life by the personalities that portrayed them, alright? Now, imagine giving this Playboy gimmick to like generic wrestler 101, and even though has the gimmick, he just comes on the mic. Every time he comes on the mic, he's like the same old generic crap, oh, tonight I'm going to get my belt back, and that's a guarantee, Why bother, Why even give him the gimmick if he's just going to talk and act like everyone else? Jake the Snake was not just the guy with a snake. What also captivated audiences was his personality. Everything he did, from the way he walked, to the way he moved into the ring, to the way he got up to his feet, to the way he talked, to the way he looked in the camera and signaled for the DDT. Everything served to support and develop the character. If you give a snake to someone like Cody Rhodes, it's just a guy with a snake. Or a 2x4, or a parrot. It doesn't make any difference to me. Alright? To me, you could call him the phenomenal Cody Rhodes, the fallen angel Cody Rhodes, the blueprint Cody Rhodes, the nature boy Cody Rhodes, the American dream Cody Rhodes. It makes no difference to me. They're all interchangeable. They all fit equally because they're all equally meaningless without a personality to support the particular role. We touched on one of our favorite TNA stars, Christopher Daniels. Now let's touch on one of our favorite WWE stars, CM Punk. Now here's a guy to me that has everything except a completed, realized personality, right? He has the whole straight edge thing going on. He has a look that completely supports the gimmick, right? He even has that line about how he's straight edge, so that means he doesn't do drugs and doesn't smoke, blah, 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 you know? But the second you give him a mic and take away that line, he's just another Christopher Daniels or Matt Morgan, alright? He comes across as just another generic wrestler 101 with a straight edge twist. If they haven't already, I really wish TNA and the WWE would bring in some kind of character development expert, you know, where all he does is support the wrestlers in the development of their character personalities, right? Not create the personalities for them, because I believe the wrestlers themselves should be in control of the direction of their characters, but someone the wrestlers can go to for advising, for help, to help bring depth and dimensionalize their characters, because I argue that if you are generic wrestler 101, it does not matter if Kurt Angle lets you pin him 100 times in a row, you are not getting over. Right? When I listen to some of these young guys on the TV screen, I sometimes wonder if they have girlfriends, because the way they're talking, it's putting me to sleep. You know? Like, a lot of people in this little YouTube wrestling community, when a young guy can't seem to get over, they like to put the blame completely on someone else. You know? The reason this young guy can't get over is all because of management. It's all because of this main eventer won't put him over. Well, what about putting some share of the blame on the young guy himself for being boring? You know? Bring some depth to his character. Get beyond that two-dimensional bullshit. Then we'll talk about getting him over.